Hello, Justin Roth.
How are you, Rebecca? How are you?
I am doing well. Welcome to the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant podcast. I am so excited to have you as my guest because you are a former friend and trainer of mine.
Yes.
And I just so believe in your methods, and you've done all the research. You call yourself a fitness geek, and I've had so many great conversations with you about the physiology, and you're also a businessman and an entrepreneur, and I just thought you would be so perfect for the show. So I want to tell my guests a little bit about your background, and then I have a lot of exciting questions that I cannot wait to ask you. So you started training at the age of 16, and as a teenager you organized fitness programs for children and young adults with developmental disabilities. You have managed a local YMCA, and you coordinated community programs, and you are certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, which is awesome. And most recently, you're the owner, creator, and occasional janitor of the Poise Fitness studio in Hermosa Beach. But now that there's an international pandemic, you are a household name in my opinion, because I am checking out your videos every single day, and honestly I feel like I'm going to be in better shape on the other side of this pandemic thanks to your videos. So I'm super excited for you to share them with my listeners.
Yeah.
So in your bio, you've been involved in a lot of communities, the YMCA, and you created community programs for children with disabilities. Why is community and fitness so important to you?
Well, I mean, without the community, you don't really have much of a business, to be honest with you. But there needs to be, past that, there needs to be, there needs to be, and I think your community is a direct reflection on you. If you happen to be a gym that has like a lot of ego, you tend to have, clients that maybe kind of have more of that. And that I found that to be pervasive in a lot of different fitness communities, even though it was a place of improvement. And that was ultimately why we opened up Poise Fitness, was to kind of try to get rid of that, or at least eliminate that as much as possible. And that was just always something that, as far as my delivery on fitness, I tried to keep set. My difference was more so, allowing people to just kind of be at whatever level they want to be, versus, you have to be at some higher level and all that.
Yeah, I do notice that in your fitness videos. It's like if you need to take a break, take a break. If you want to make it a little harder, you make it. It's kind of like you show them what to do, and then you let them go at their own pace. And
Right. Exactly.
it makes
I think
people
we
feel
need to be.
better.
Right, and I think, not to classify, any of us as, being stronger or weaker, but I think we all have stronger or weaker days.
Mhm.
So being able to do that just gives you the freedom within, that individual day to, discover and carve out your own workout. A lot of times you need to go easier at the beginning, and then towards, the end, you catch a second wind and you're able to push through. And sometimes you don't get that, but I think, giving yourself that freedom also makes you more willing to do it every day, versus when it's going to be punishment and it's going to be hard every day. There's going to be a lot more days that you're going to take off, and you're not going to be as consistent.
I think 90% of sticking to a fitness plan is just showing up. And
Right. Yeah.
there's been so many days where I'm like, I'm just going to show up. I don't even care how hard I work out. And then I get motivated by like a song. I love your music, by the way, but I'll get motivated by a song, or maybe I'll be working out next to someone who's like really into it and I'm competitive. So I'll get motivated off their energy.
Right.
So it's just, if you can just get yourself to show up, I think that is everything.
I agree. I think so. I think so.
And I've been to your gym in Hermosa Beach. It definitely feels like a community. And I like how you use the word family a lot when you're giving instruction,
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of our subtle way to pull everybody together.
especially in a big city like LA. I think everybody feels so isolated, and just like in this high tech era, people are lonelier than ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they can go to a gym and people are calling them family and they feel like a community, I think that is just such an amazing gift.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah. So why did you decide, this is a question I've been thinking during this whole quarantine, because so many gyms are charging money for their workouts during this pandemic, or they're using credits on ClassPass or whatever, yet your workouts are on YouTube and they're totally free. So what was your reason behind deciding to give away your workouts for free during this pandemic?
You know, we knew we were going to do it either way, and we thought that, when you really add up what you start to earn on it, it's really nominal. And I think we limit ourselves when we start to try to figure out what it's worth. And we've been very fortunate to also have a lot of clients who have donated to us. We created a GoFundMe page just because I didn't expect this. I expected us to maybe at some point have to monetize it, but a way that we were able to deflect that was a lot of people just offered to, and they said, it's really helped me, and I wanted to contribute something back. So we created a GoFundMe page and been able to get, I believe, a lot more money on there by people just feeling good about donating than we would by charging something and figuring it out. So it speaks to the community and how also I guess the law of reciprocity, that when you give something to somebody, they do feel like they want to give something back. And I know just on a lot of things where people have, I feel like, overgiven on me to some degree. I do feel the same way. I want to give that back. And so I think a lot of times by removing that, you can actually open yourselves up to even, be more, I feel more prosperous also, just because we got a lot more, I feel like, thank yous also, and a lot more genuine appreciation also from that than we normally would have. And that's ultimately the reason why we got into this, is to help other people out. So I think when you run away from opportunity, or when you run away from instances like this and don't see it as an opportunity to help, then, it doesn't work in your favor. So.
I love that you speak to the law of reciprocity. It's like whatever you put out comes back tenfold. And instead of just nickel and diming and charging like 5 or 10 or 20 bucks here and there, you're just giving it out to the universe and knowing that it's going to come back in some way. And it is coming back through your GoFundMe page. And I think it's going to come back to you guys in so many ways, because you're really putting your brand out there in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people also just in the immediate area that can physically get to us, that I'd like to think that will also check us out a little bit more, once we reopen. So, it's just an investment into that, and it's a reinvestment into our community, both the, uh, community that can get to us in a certain radius, and also our online community maybe that isn't as close. But our hope is that we can continue to expand Poise out to other locations. So, for those other people that are more remote now, we'll also be able to get to them physically at some point.
Yeah, it's amazing. So exercise has been scientifically proven to boost mood, to improve cognitive function, yet many people dread it. So what would you tell people that are like, exercise? Like how can you help them find the joy in exercise and make it fun for them?
I think people automatically find the joy in it. I think it's convincing yourself how to do it. And I think with, our hope with allowing people to take fitness to whatever level, we've been hoping to decomplicate it, in the sense that working out should, to a certain degree, as long as you have somebody to somewhat guide you and you're somewhat aware of your, body and posture. And I don't mean to dumb down what we do, but if you, get into this whole thing, am I doing the right ab exercise, the right leg exercise, just staying consistent and looking at it like brushing your teeth, where brushing your teeth isn't really that exciting, but it's just something that you do every day. And that, well, it's going to give me, my grill's going to be a little busted up, or, what I mean? Or something if I don't do it, what I mean? Looking at it the same way with exercise, is that you don't have to go into necessarily, I don't know if all of us, like I floss, maybe probably like once a week, maybe not as more recently, like, once every other week or something like that. And then do my like basic brushing of my teeth. So point being, like, if you use this analogy for like the workout, it's not my best workout all the time, once a week, once every other week, I'll have my best workout. But past that, I'm just getting it done. So when you start to do that and create that habit, I think you realize the necessity of it. You get your fix from it. You get that joy from it. And then from there, you can start to add on and get into it where you're a little bit better about your hygiene, I guess. Sorry if that was a weird analogy.
No, you know what? I totally get it. So you're saying just make it part of your self-care. Like,
Yeah, it's just a part of your everyday, even if you do it for 10 to 15 minutes, like it doesn't have to be. And even if you half-ass it, then you still get it done,
you can cuss. The FCC doesn't regulate this.
Okay, good. There you go. Nice. Oh, perfect. All right, good. But yeah, I think that's it. When you don't look at it as much, because there's some days I just don't want to work out, but I know I have to get it done, and I know it's going to fix my mood. And I know that, maybe a little bit short, if I maybe slept in past my workout, and then, I'm getting through my day and I'm a little bit shorter with people, just, don't have as much patience or whatever. And knowing that, geez, if I just step aside and just do like 15 minutes, just get like a little bit of sweat in, the endorphins kick in and everything, you can get your fix. And then, you do that, but it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. I've gotten that just sometimes from just stretching for 15 minutes.
Yeah, just move your body.
Right.
But then once you get accustomed to the dopamine and the serotonin and the mood altering chemicals that happen after you hit a certain level in your workout, then it's like you want to work out because it becomes a habit that just, it feels good in your body. But I think it's just getting to that point where you can feel that high, that workout high.
Exactly. So start with low doses, microdose, I guess, on the way.
Microdose it. Just make it part of your routine, like, and they say you can't get clean off yesterday's shower. You have to, it's something that you can't work out like 3 times and be like, okay, like, where's my 6-pack,
Exactly. And I think from that, a lot of times it looks, if you're starting from a place where you feel like you have to fix, you're not working out, you're not eating right, it looks like it's this really tall hill that you have to climb. But just start with something simple, and then everything else starts to, go into place. And I have to do that with myself, because especially just being in, and I find myself slipping, admittedly, sometimes. But if, I realize that if I take it just kind of step by step, it's easier for me to, just then the next day I start eating right. And then the next day I start sleeping better and I drink more, you know what I mean? And it just, and then you get, kind of better with your habits. But you just have to start off with something, one thing.
And don't beat yourself up when you fall off, because you're a trainer and a fitness influencer, and even you fall off your regimen sometimes. Just, you can't beat yourself up. You just start again tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, nobody's perfect, and I think striving for perfection, I think that is something that makes workouts not fun. Like, if you're trying to look perfect or be perfect or like be the best person in the gym or look like the women in the fashion magazines, that makes it not fun because it's so unattainable.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you want to just like set attainable, easy goals for yourself. Like you said, if I can just stretch for 15 minutes today, that'll be something.
Exactly. Yeah. Just something, doing something. And I think it's, from the couple of, things I've heard about, like success books or whatever, is a lot of them kind of starting off with something simple, in the sense of like, setting your bed at the beginning of the day, like start off with something, and then there's kind of, again, that ripple effect of doing that. So same could be said about the workout. And, we all have times where we kind of ebb and flow in and out of, what we feel like is being on and off point of anything. So, just taking that little step is, the right thing.
So that brings me to my next question. Only 15% of people who join a gym, not a fitness studio, but a traditional big box gym, actually show up. So why do you think that is? Is it kind of what we're talking about? Like they get excited in the moment and they join the gym and then they just don't think they can do it? Like, how would you speak to the people who actually join Poise or join another gym and they're excited in the moment and then they just don't show up?
Well, I think it's when you go to a gym and a lot of times you don't know what to do or you don't have the structure or,
Right.
you might even know what to do, but it's like the couple of things that, and you're almost kind of going into a hospital and there's no doctors there and there's just a bunch of, instruments and it's like you're expected to fix yourself with them.
Yeah.
And, you can Google what to do, but you do want either a professional to help guide you to some degree, um, or you want to at least be well versed into it to where you can go in and do it. And, I even find that, I've been practicing this for, 500 years, it feels like. And I feel like I'm still learning so much and I'm still trying to put myself out there to like, or trying to, excuse me, what is it? Do my research onto like, what else is new and what else is going on, and even old school ways of doing stuff as well. I know enough to know I don't know enough, so it's so yeah, it's that's the thing is that going into it, it's understandable why people get kind of overwhelmed and just end up signing up for it. And I think that you become also embarrassed about canceling after a certain point. Also, I think there's some embarrassment with that, or there's the, well, if I cancel it, that means I can't use it. So like when I'm ready to use it, um, so we try to keep people engaged a little bit more. We try to put ourselves in front of people more, to the point also where we've realized when people are ready to cancel, they're more quicker to cancel with us. From the other gyms I've worked at, and I found that kind of happens sometimes when you just let people sign up and then you just never really email them, never really contact them. They might stay on for a little bit longer, but they have less, engagement. And I find in the long run, a we get more engagement, we get a better clientele, we get a more transformative clientele, versus just people, again, coming in and feeling, awkward when they go in.
I think that's a great analogy you made to the hospital. Like, if somebody walks into a hospital and they don't know anything about medicine and they don't have a doctor, it doesn't mean anything. And that's why I think it's so important to take classes. And of course, if you can afford to hire a personal trainer, that's like a good personal trainer in LA is how much? 200, 150 an hour now? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, somewhere around there. But the thing is you can do with some basics. You can do a little online, research, or you can go to a gym or find a group fitness class where you find an instructor that you can feel comfortable asking questions to. That's the kind of intermediary way. That's what we try to be at Poise, is to be able to do that, and for people to feel comfortable after class, or even during class, to be able to ask us questions, do that, and with offering modifications and such like that. But, so much emphasis has been put on how strong you are and how many reps you can do and how little of a time, and such like that. All form ends up going out the window. And while there are certain exercises that tempo is something that you want to focus on, you never should be sacrificing form, especially when most of us are sitting for a big majority of the day. So the muscles that we should be using are not properly activated, and that's ultimately what leads to injury.
Exactly. I am back what you said about the instructor feeling comfortable asking them questions for group fitness. I know you hire instructors and train them in your method, and we're going to talk about your method in a second. But
Yeah.
I think having instructors who have accessible personalities, where they make people feel comfortable to ask them questions and they make people feel supported, I think that's everything for group fitness, is finding the right instructor.
Absolutely. And finding the right culture, the right gym and the right culture that you feel like matches your personality and that you feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my next question. I know there's a special formula to Poise.
Yeah.
There's three different types of training that I want to hear it. I don't want to mess
Yeah.
it up.
No, it's all right. No, it's all good.
I know
So
I've
we
watched
do,
a million videos, but I still want you to explain the Poise method and why it's so highly different and effective compared to other HIIT training studios as well.
absolutely. So I used to do, or I used to teach at more of like a boot camp hit training studio, and found just people were getting injured from that. And um, my certification and any sort of kinesiology studies that I've done have taught that you need an integrated routine to maximize results and to minimize injury. You need an integrated routine. Integrated meaning that you need both high and low intensity exercises. So we've found we do what we call integrated interval training. So instead of HIIT, it's IIT. And
Mm,
so what we do is,
love it. It training.
right, yeah. So we use, and we'll kind of use that into, some of like our sayings and such like that. But most of the time, everything we do is a minute, and we'll kind of stack them. And some of our classes will do a minute 20, but they're usually shorter intervals. And we always say you can do anything for a minute. And we just find that a minute is a good, concise period of time to where you can do something, you can keep form. Even some harder exercises, you still have to kind of take breaks within that minute. But it gives us the opportunity to add the variety, to add that integrated element to where we have all the exercises work together. And the 3 category structure that we do is strength exercises, which everybody knows, functional movement, which is more anything from ab core exercises to corrective exercises. That could be stuff that you see in a physical therapist's office. It could even be stretches, yoga moves. And then we do cardio, so something to get your heart rate up. So that we use that structure to basically plug in all the different types of intervals that we can do and all the different integrated elements. And usually the strength and the cardio is usually the higher intensity, and usually the lower intensity is the functional movement, but it just depends on the routine and what exactly we're doing and who the instructor is and such like that. So, but another way that we also deliver that to make it more integrated is that everything we offer that's of a slightly higher or a single leg nature, we'll always offer a modification for.
So you have 2 types of classes, or in the studio, it's only 10 intervals, right?
Yeah, and that's in our signature class. So our signature class will have 10 1-minute intervals that follow those. Our ab and core class will go through 5 rounds, but we'll do back-to-back minute intervals. So we'll basically do, I mean, I guess you could say 2-minute intervals, but it would be basically one exercise for 1 minute, and then right after it, another exercise, take a break, and then we do the functional movement, the 2 in a row, take a break, and then the cardio 2 in a row. And so we basically just take the intervals and we kind of just move them around and displace them in different ways and have different round classes. We have a TRX class where we do minute 20 intervals. So you do 2-minute 20 intervals back to back. So you're in each section for 3 minutes and you just go through 4 rounds. So it's just basically kind of how we displace everything. But the difference in that the 4-round, I believe, is something that like even an Orange Theory would do. But the difference is that we do the functional movement element, whereas an Orange Theory would just do the strength and the cardio. A Barry's Boot Camp, same thing, just the strength and the cardio. The, I guess, quote unquote secret sauce, not that it's that secret, is our functional movement element, and the fact that we integrate the physical therapy exercises, the stretches, the active stretches, the smaller muscle, movements. No other studio really does that, at least in that format.
So every set, there's 10 sets in the signature class. There's a functional, a strength, and a cardio. Is there a certain order, or can you mix up cardio, then function, then strength, or is it?
Good question. Yeah. So the way that we have it set up in class, people usually, and it depends on the size of the class, because we'll displace the groups, but you'll basically go from strength to cardio, cardio to or excuse me, I said that the wrong way. Cardio to strength, strength to functional. So get your heart rate up with the cardio stuff, a heavier weight movement, and then you finish off the set with a smaller muscle movement or an active stretch. Or sometimes people start off in the functional area, go to the cardio area, and then finish on the strength area. Honestly, there's no real benefit. A lot of people like just changing it up. Sometimes it's just kind of changing up that stimulus in the sense of starting somewhere different. And we allow people to go into, or we have our schedule set up rather to where people change up the different classes. And so they'll come in, do an ab and core one day, a signature one day, a TRX one day. And we change everything up. The ab and core and TRX get changed up every class, and the signature class gets changed up every week. So there's a fair amount of variety in there. And to some degree, you want to do something similar so your muscles can adapt, but get some level of changing to where you're, breaking through a plateau that you have. But we found that to be the most effective method.
Well, I get bored very easily, and I've done tons of workouts, and I've never seen so many different names and exercises as are on your YouTube site. Like, did you name some of them yourself, or these names you've learned on the way? Like, there's so many exercises and so many names.
Yeah, and it's funny. Sometimes people will call certain exercises, they'll be interchangeable. It's just the ones, the way that I've learned them. And from sometimes we'll kind of cross-reference stuff, and we'll do an online, search, but that won't always, that's not always gospel, I guess you could say. But just, yeah, we do it as much as we could do. And a lot of times it's kind of just sounding it out. It's like, it's a single leg, squat with a, overhead arm reach or whatever the hell it is, so we figure it out. We sound it out.
Bored easily, and if you're listening to this, like, this is the perfect workout for you, because they do change it up, and it's only a minute, and then you're on to the next thing. So it's like perfect for people who get bored easily. Like, I can't even imagine going back to like a big box gym and doing like 30 or 40 minutes of cardio and then weights. Like, after doing these classes, it seems like inconceivable, because these classes are just dynamic and fun, and you're here for a minute and you're moving on. And I mean, the old way that people used to work out is just so boring to me.
I agree. I think we don't have the attention span now. We haven't really been trained to that. So, and we're heading even farther away from that.
Exactly. You're going to have to come up with like a 10-second interval, and then whoop, onto
I
that.
know, right? Exactly. Check your phone real quick.
What I love about your gym is people don't have to look like a supermodel to walk in. Like, and I know, because I've been following you on social media, you've had some really inspiring success stories. What is your most inspiring story of transformation that you want to share with our listeners?
Oh, geez. Everybody has their own.
You can change the name to protect it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it's okay, maybe what my favorite one that like whenever somebody says this, that, like, I feel like we hit like the target, like right in the center, and it's when somebody says, "I don't usually like working out, but I love this." Mm-hmm. And so somebody can say that, because that's exactly what we're trying to go after, is for somebody who's maybe doesn't otherwise enjoy working out, but they find that this is something they could stick to. Like, that's exactly the type of person we want to speak to. So a couple of people have said that, and maybe I know that's not really a transformation, but it is, in the sense that we're transforming them from not being a workout person to being a workout person, which I think is just, once you're there, once you make somebody a workout person, like, the sky's the limit. Like, you can really then it's just little tweaks along the way. But then you've stopped having to convince, if there's any parent listeners out there, like, you no longer have to convince your child, to eat vegetables. It's just, how you do it and figuring out what their favorite vegetables are,
That's kind of what we were talking about the whole time, is how to make exercise fun.
Yeah.
So that you actually want to do it instead of think of it as a dreaded chore. And if you're doing that for your clients with this unique method, then I think that is the goal. And I know that it's really, really fun. So you guys have got to check it out, either online on YouTube, or how else can people stay in touch with you?
So they can go to our website, poisefitness.com. If you're listening to this and you want to sign up before we're released out of the quarantine, you can go and you can still sign up for a free class on there, and you'll be subscribed to our emails, and so you can get our daily workouts, and you can decide whether or not to actually use that class if you're close by. Or not, but either way, you'll be subscribed to our emails. So poisefitness.com, and if you just click first class free or free class, you'll be able to get set up on there.
That is so cool. So once you get the emails, guys, you're going to get a different workout every day during the quarantine. And if you're in the local area, you'll get to go in and check out the gym. It is a really fun place to work out. So thank you so much, Justin.
Thank
You
you.
have been like getting me through the quarantine one day at a time with your workouts. It's something that I look forward to, and I'm never bored because you have all these exciting new moves and names that I've never heard of. I don't know if you're going to be able to keep it up for the whole rest of the quarantine with new
You
moves.
know, that's our goal, actually. We'll see. We talked about that today, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we're stretching for ideas, but we can make it work." So, we're looking for household items. That's like our new thing, is like figuring out household items we can incorporate into it. So, I'm going to do one involving jeans on, which is, I know that sounds completely bizarre, but we're going to make the jeans into like a TRX thing. So we're going to do that on Saturday. So.
I know, and you guys have already used, and forgive me if I'm missing anything, brooms,
Yep.
backpacks, pasta sauce,
Yep.
cans, toilet paper.
Yep.
What else?
Books, chairs. I think we used a beer carton, like the cardboard of it as a slider. So we're trying to improvise.
Wow, it never gets dull. So check him out, get on his newsletter. Thank you so much, Justin, for your time and keeping us
Thank
in
you.
shape during this quarantine and beyond. And I can't wait to work out at your gym and see you in person when all this is over.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate your time too.
Okay, have a great afternoon. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant podcast. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.